Lesson 5-2A. Use reasoning to compare and order rational numbers. Okay, so grab a piece of paper and a pencil so that way you can work right along with me. Pause the video as you need as we go through the lesson. So today we're going to be comparing numbers and doing greater than, less than, absolute values. We're going to be combining a lot of different topics that we've already learned. So if I'm talking about a couple people who are climbing, and Bruce, he goes up 78 feet. So that would be, if he's going up, that's positive 78. So I'm going to write that in my notes as I'm reading along. Then I see that Jean went down 85 feet. So she went down, that's negative 85. Now the question says, who went to a greater level? Well, if I write this as an inequality, negative 85 and positive 78, now I take a look at that and I go negative is less than a positive, so I'm going to write negative 85 is less than 78 because the value of negative 85 is less than the value of 78. Then they ask, who made the greater change in level? So they're talking about when we start at 0 on a number line, who went in their direction farther? They're not asking which number is greater, they're saying who traveled farther from 0. So we're going to use absolute value for that. So now the absolute value of negative 85 and the absolute value of 78. So the absolute value of 85 or negative 85 would be just 85, and the absolute value of 78 is 78. So now I have these two numbers to compare, 85 and 78. 85 is greater than 78. Okay, make sure that you have your pencil and paper ready because we're going to be working through problems 1 and 2 together. Number 1 says a 15-yard penalty covers more distance than a 5-yard gain. So now we need to look at that as absolute value, because if we want to see which one is farther from 0 is what they're asking. So on a number line, which one is farther away from 0? So we have the absolute value of negative 15 because they went back 15 yards. And then we have the absolute value of 5, positive 5. So we do the absolute value of each of those. The absolute value of negative 15 is 15. And the absolute value of 5 just stays 5. So now we can compare those. Which one is greater, 15 or 5? So we take a look at that. And we know that 15 is greater than 5. So in your reasoning, you would say the absolute value of 5 or 15, so let's put that, the absolute value of negative 15 is greater than the absolute value of 5. And that would be your reasoning. Okay, for problem 2, it says 3 degrees Fahrenheit below 0 is colder than 5 degrees Fahrenheit. So we have 3 degrees below, would be like this, is colder than 5 degrees. Okay, we have negative and we have a positive, so we know that it would go like this. Negative 3 degrees Fahrenheit is less than 5 degrees. And for our reasoning, we could write a negative is lower on a number line. So it is smaller or has a lower value. So it has a lower value than a positive number. And there you go. So for the rest of your problems today, you're going to be working through not only writing an inequality. Oh, it looks like you are just writing the inequalities for the situations, and then you complete more or less. So have fun with the rest of today's math.